Welcome to Sikbaggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve. Today we've got a really quick video for you, and it's going to pertain to a few different videos that we did in the past, and it's going to be a little fix. If you saw the little thumbnail before you clicked on the video, you'll kind of know what's going on here. But hopefully, if you have a 23 CVO and newer bike like this one back here on the lift, this is going to give you a key on option, a wire harness that we can plug into the bike that's going to give us a key on option. Now, referring back to those videos that I was talking about a while ago, when we did the air ride in the center stand, we were having a hard time locating a key on wire underneath the seat or underneath the side cover. A lot of those are key on, but the problem is after about 15 to 20 seconds, those would lose power. So I'd have enough to air the bike up and the compressor and stuff would still run, but then I'd go to hit my switch 20 seconds later and I had nothing. Same thing on the center stand too. I could put the center stand up in the first 20 seconds, air the bike up, put the center stand up, and then all of a sudden I didn't have anything, right? So it's a weird thing going on with these bikes. Called a couple of different places, really couldn't find anything, and I actually saw a guy post it in our Sikbagger Facebook group that he had found one through Tim's Stereo, and that's what we have right here. Now this, like I said, this is from Tim's Stereo System. I'll put a link down in the description. I'll also put a pinned comment at the top of this video to the link to this harness. This is a plug and play piece that we're going to stick underneath the seat, and it's going to give us several different options. I think there are two positive and negative constant on, and then a purple and a black for your remote on too. So what we're going to be doing today is digging out all the stuff that we have attached to our battery. Because we couldn't find that key on power, we ended up just sticking everything straight to the battery, which is fine. It's not going to draw, air ride and center stand is not going to draw anything off the battery as long as you're not using it, right? But the problem with that is if any jack leg knows that you got your air ride and your center stand hooked to your battery, it's on all the time, right? So you could just walk up here with this bike sitting here like this, and I could hit this button and air it up and let the bike fall over. So not a big, huge deal. And this could pertain to a lot of other things that you want to install on your bike too. It's not just, you know, for center stand and air rides. This could be for anything. Maybe you put a camera on your bike. Anything that you want that key on power. So when the key is on, or when the ignition switch is on, you've got power. When the ignition switch is off, it's off power, right? And it eliminates all this crap being stuck to the top of our battery. Now, to say something about this real quick, when I first ordered this, I got online, went on the website, found it, ordered it, and within probably 2 minutes I had a tracking number. So absolutely quick. I had this thing in like 2 days, but like I said, I got a tracking number within the first 2 minutes of actually clicking on it and ordering it. So I was pretty surprised there. I put the order in and walked away, kind of forgot about it. 2 minutes later, my phone dings and I go look at it and it's a tracking number. So this guy's on top of his stuff. You make sure to check out the rest of his website too, because he's got a lot of different stuff, plug and play, different adapters that he makes that you may be able to find some use in, right? So I just wanted to get that out there. Tim's Stereo System. We've got the 12-pin Molex connector there. There's all of our wires. And of course, right here on the sticker on the front, it's going to tell you, like I said, you've got the two red and black and the one purple and black. So you got your 12-volt positive reds. Those are constant. That means that those two right there, those two reds, those are like basically the same thing as having it hooked to your battery without a bunch of crap hooked to your battery. And then you've got your purple here, which is going to be your remote turn on. So which just means that when you hit the switch, you've got power. And then all, of course, the black ones are all your grounds, right? So I'm going to cut the camera real quick. I'm going to get over here, pull my seat. I'm going to get all the wires that I want to hook to this up on top of the ECM, because they're all attached to the battery right now. I'm going to cut off all my little eyelets and get the wires stripped back and get them ready to crimp into this. And then from there, it's just a simple plug and play, and then we'll give it a test. But I'm going to cut the camera back on when we get ready to crimp our wires into this. So like I said before, what I've done is taken all of my positives and negatives off the battery from the only thing I left on the battery on this was the sound system, which has to go straight to the battery. So the positive and negative for the amp and the stereo system, right? So that's the only thing left on the battery. I've tied all my positives together and ran them into one wire, all my negatives together and ran them into two very small wires, right? So that's what we've got going on here. Took me just a couple of minutes. So if you've installed all this stuff, you're going to know how to get back down to your battery and look at those wires and see which ones you can put together, solder together, and bring it up in one wire, which is what we've done. Right here, I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way, because this is all rear end stuff and speaker stuff. So if you got a stock bike, you're basically just going to be kind of looking at this right here. This is the top of your ECM. There's a little plastic tray up here. It's got a couple of things here. This is for like heated gear and stuff like that. Don't worry about that. This connector right here, you can look at the connector that you got from Tim's Stereo and see that this is the exact same connector. It's got a rubber plug in it. I'm gonna pull that rubber plug out, and that is going to connect right there, and that's going to give us that power that we need right here. Now, from Tim's Stereo, they do come with these little connectors like this. I don't typically use crimp-on connectors. You can, there's nothing wrong with them. What I use are these guys right here. You can get these on Amazon. You can buy them in packs of 5, 10, 200, 500,000. This is a 200-piece set. They're pretty cheap. What these do, instead of a crimp-on connection, these give me a solder connection. You'll see me using these in just about every video if I have to do any kind of cutting or splicing or wiring. The reason why I use these is because that little piece right there in the middle is actually solder, and these two blue strips out here are kind of a weatherproofing, right? So you're going to need a torch, not a lighter. If you try to use just a normal cigarette lighter, you're going to end up melting this plastic before you get that solder hot enough to melt. So get yourself a little torch like this. I picked these up on Amazon too, like a pack of 4. I don't know how much, $10 for like a pack of 4, but you will have to put butane in them. Anyway, back to these. We are going to basically, you just put your wires together with this on there, solder the middle with this, and then just kind of quickly go around the blue, and it also gives it a little waterproof seal as well. Well, like I said, you can absolutely use the ones that come in the kit. I just prefer to use my own. We're just going to cut these off. And I hate to do it because it's a nice thing to go ahead and add the connectors like that. Like I said, not that I'm not a fan of these, I'm just a bigger fan of the other ones. So that's how we're going to do it. We're just going to cut those off. We're going to strip these back just a tad. Our purple, our black. Okay. Get one of these. The purple's going to go to our red. So I'm going to slide this over my red. We're going to twist these together in line. Just make a little ball out of it right there. All right. I'm going to slide that back down over it until our solder is right over the copper and the wire. Take our torch, make sure to check your background area. You don't want to be torching down like this and torch some important wires, right? So pull these back a little bit. We're going to melt that middle quickly on top so I don't hit anything below it. Turn her sideways and get these little waterproof ends. All right, just like that. All right, so now we've got a good soldered connection. And then we have our little weatherproofing on the ends. That blue stuff kind of melts and seals around the wire to keep any moisture or anything like that out, right? So that's kind of why I like these, especially on motorcycles, ATVs, boats, anything like that. I like to use these on, right? So same thing on our grounds. A little bit bigger than what's on there too. As you can see, that fit right over 2 of those wires. So let's get our grounds tied together. Slide our connector back over. Make sure it's dead in the center of that connection. Torch once again. Straight to the solder. Get it sideways here and get that blue. Give that a second to cool off, right? So now we got our positive and our negative right there tied together into our power on, our key on, right? So back to this plug, take that cap off, plug this in, listen for that click. we can put it back down on top of that tray if you can ever get those things back on there. And that one went right on. Usually I got to fight those things. So we're going to take this stuff, right? We're going to get it tucked down in here in front of the battery. Just like that. We'll use the little brake lines right there to go back to your ABS. Those are always constant, never really moving those. Tuck those in nice and neat down there. Just like that. When you're cutting zip ties, make sure you got a nice pair of zip tie cutters like this. It cuts a nice clean line on there. It doesn't leave a jagged edge on there for the next guy that comes in and works on your bike to cut and destroy his hands on, right? So, you know, like $7 on Amazon, $6, something like that. But you can see these guys, nice clean cut. Some right here, we're gonna get flat on that connector, cut that thing off, nice and smooth, right? So tuck all this stuff back underneath our seat and we're done. I'm gonna back the camera up, we're gonna turn the bike on, and we're gonna test our stuff. Now I have the AF Customs switch that goes here above your coil pack on the 24 Newers. Front one, the front switch is for front air ride, center stand in the middle, rear air ride on the back. And like I said before, all this stuff was connected straight to the battery, so I could just walk up here and air it up and down and put the center stand up and down, right? So the way I have it hooked up right now, it shouldn't work at all when I hit this, right? So I'm gonna hang on to the bike just in case I did something wrong. We got a dead switch. All three of these are dead, right? Power on. Now, should be able to raise the front up. Got front. I'm gonna try the rear. Got rear. Let that compressor kick off because it's loud. We're gonna try that rear. Get the rear up just a little bit so we can check our center stand. Center stand goes up. Center stand goes down. So as you can see there, everything worked exactly like it was supposed to. Now we have ignition on, power to our center stand and our air ride. Like I said, it doesn't have to be center stand or air ride. You can put other things on this. Just remember, the wire that comes with that isn't very big, so we don't want to overload those wires, right? You don't want to hook up 30, 40 things to that one purple wire. You may have to look into doing something different if you're going to be adding a bunch of stuff to these new bikes. These bikes are super finicky when it comes to the electronics. And I know I'm probably going to get the question, so I'll go ahead and answer it right now. Some of you may be thinking, why can't I just T-tap or posi-tap into the wire harness on the other side of the Harley-Davidson plug, right? So technically, I suppose, I guess you could. I wouldn't, as much as I have t-shirts made here at Sikbaggers that literally say I void warranties on them. On this bike with the electronics, I would dare not to do that, right? So don't be stabbing a bunch of holes inside your wires. This makes it super easy, plug and play, no puncturing into your Harley-Davidson wire harness, which I think with the electronics on these bikes, that's going to be super important. So like I said, if you want to get your hands on one of these, I'll put a link down in the description. Also in that pinned comment at the very top of all the comments, you'll see the link in there as well. Make sure to check out Tim's Stereo Systems. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and make sure to tell your friends about us, because that's what keeps us coming out here and making these videos for you. I'm going to get out of here, get myself back to work. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, as always, be safe, keep your knees in the breeze. Hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out our videos today. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button, hit the little subscribe button popping up over here. If you want to check out more of our content, I've got 2 videos right here that'll get you started. Not really going to say anything else, just click one of those videos and take you to another video.